Like, save 12 kids, it's one person, and so on. That's consequences, right? Consequentialism. Whereas deontological is what the gentleman says. Like, you're actually committing an immoral act if you swap. You've actually decided, I'm going to kill someone. Whereas if you're there trying to just pump the brakes, pump, you know, it's not a deliberate act of murder. You're pumping and you're hitting the hooter, but the kids are having fun and they can't hear you. Yeah, so most of the arguments that I've had, the one argument that shocked me at my last session was someone saying, like, you know, life is so hard, I'm actually saving the kids from climate change and all the problems that we have in this world. Yeah. So anyway, we have 10 minutes, so I'm going to be quick. Courage and conviction, right? This is actually a true story. Cynthia Cooper, VP for Internal Audit at WorldCom, she was threatened by management if she reported irregularities. They would not only fire her, but a large number of internal audit staff. Now that is a clear dilemma, right? If I report you, will be fired, internal audit is going to be shut down, the company will face serious consequences. So she actually, this is a true story, she stood by a decision, she reported the company, and not only did the internal audit staff lose their jobs, everybody lost their jobs, because WorldCom basically shut down, and senior management went to jail. So it takes a lot of courage to do some of these things. That's, of course, a really extreme example. Let's quickly jump to the framework for resolving dilemmas. So what do you do when you have a dilemma, right? And there's many types of dilemmas that you can have. Let me go with a simple one. And I think this is one maybe that's common in your area. You're picking the employee of the year who gets a cash prize, right? You've got two people, Maria and Mavis, yeah? Maria performed marginally better than Mavis, right? But she lives next to the office, she has no dependents, whereas Mavis is a widow who lives very far and has 4 dependents, right? So, from the ethical rule book says whoever does best gets the prize, right? So you're voting, right? You probably, if you just stick to ethics, put your emotions and your thoughts about it, you might just stick, Maria. Maria performed marginally better. Whereas with maybe from a moral point of view, you might think, but look at the circumstances. I mean, Mavis has done so well. And look at all the things that she's going through. I mean, she lost her husband, she lives far, she's got 4 kids, she needs the money more, right? So maybe from a moral point of view, you're like, man, Maria will be fine, but this 50,000 rand cash prize that we're giving to Employee of the Year may be better suited for me. So, I mean, I usually subject this to a poll, but unfortunately we don't have the time. So let's look at what do you do when you have an ethical dilemma, right? These are the 6 steps that you should take, right? Number 1, gather information. Get as much information as possible. Don't just knee-jerk, right? And say, okay, this is the way I feel, right? Of course, in my tram example, there's no time to gather information, right? It's either swap now or just keep it going. But in most of our situations, you have time to gather information, and that's. I was listening to a podcast where someone was saying when he gets an email and that email really evokes some emotions, he never replies to he'll draft a draft and leave it as draft. Spends the night, and then the next day comes and reads the draft and asks himself, does he really want to send that response? So, I mean, we've been working. You've obviously got emails and sent emails that you wish you could. And some of them I've seen. What do you call it? The thing where they try and recall the thing. It's called recall or what? Yeah, you can see this person didn't think before they hit send. And you actually copied the wrong people or something. So gather information, take your time. Secondly, you need to frame the ethical dilemma. What is my dilemma? What am I facing? What are the ethical rules and what are the moral rules that I am facing here, right? Frame it, write it down, and so that you can actually say, this is the dilemma I am facing, right? Frame it, right? Third thing, document what are the consequences of each action. If I take action A, what would be the consequence? If I take action B, what will be the consequence? Then we all have a different version of who we are. As the gentleman at the back said, morality, right? We have different moral codes, right? Who really are you? Like, I mean, if you're a person who's really, as you say, like in the Maria and Mavis example, you're a person who believes in excellence regardless of circumstances, that's what you live by, then that's who you are. Or if you're a person who's just like, look, I'm for social balance and, trying to make, I'm a socialist, let's put it that way, right? Then that's you. So stick to who you are. Then eventually you'll choose whichever decision path you're going to take between the two, and then you need to confirm your decision. And confirming your decision can take many forms. There's one thing that's called, there's a couple of things, sleep test, right? Like, are you going to sleep well at night after you make this decision? There's also, what's it called, the tombstone test. Like, if you make this decision and the decision is put on your tombstone and people walk and read, here lies so and so, on this date he decided this, will they think, oh my gosh, what type of character was this? What type of person was this, right? That's, and public inquiry test, right? If many other people would say, did I take the reasonable man test? So that is how 6 steps. Of course, we only had 40 minutes. This is actually a 3-hour thing that we normally do with lots more case studies that we go through, and a lot more information and different type of challenges like the intimidation one that you talked about. So, in terms of facing an intimidation, right? Again, follow the 6-step process. First of all, gather the information, frame your ethical dilemma. What are the consequences of not agreeing with this person and disagreeing? Who are you? Make your decision, and then confirm your decision. Okay. Questions and comments. I know we've got thoughts. Sir, you've got a question. You have.